We have a new assignment. Eliminate the commander of Rogue Coyote, one of the PFs operating in Africa. The target is simply the Major to his men. That's his rank from his army days. Instead of your typical boots-on-the-ground work, he's more of a job broker and a recruiter. And apparently he also runs a little espionage operation on the side. Which could explain why he's picked up a long list of enemies. I don't like getting involved in a PF pissing match any more than you do. There's another reason we took this job. Recently, this guy's been talking about dealing in nuclear arms. Think back to the shipment that Cypher was having ZRS transport. If we put the squeeze on this Major, we might come out of it with some new intel on Cypher.
One of the Major's subordinates working undercover with the CFA is due to make contact with him. Check his current location on your iDroid. Follow him, and he should lead you right to the Major. You found him. Stay on him. We have no fix on the target, not even a predicted field of movement. All we have to go on is this meeting with his subordinate. Remember, this guy will call the meeting off if he thinks he's being tailed. You've got to do everything you can to stay out of sight.
Rogue Coyote operates mainly out of Africa these days. Of the 3 PFs, they're the smallest. However, they scooped up most of the Rhodesian SAS after the country collapsed 4 years ago. Picture their entire organization as one big special forces unit. With Rhodesia a British colony, the Rhodesian SAS had its origins in 22 SAS Sea Squadron. They started out as a group known as the Southern Rhodesia Volunteers. But in '51 they were incorporated into 22 SAS as members of the British Commonwealth and deployed to fight guerrillas in the Malayan emergency. Even now, 22 SAS keeps the Sea Squadron designation empty in recognition of their service. In a way, you could say the SAS almost makes up the core of Rogue Coyote. Later on, they were bolstered by other talent, including former Cella Scouts and 32 Battalion. These guys are direct descendants of the best special forces in the world. They won't go down without a fight. Don't get careless.
His vehicle stopped. Is that where he's meeting the target?
Boss, I have the report on that cargo we stole from Cypher's truck. The PF was transporting 2 things. The analysis of that malachite has come back first. Naturally, the main compound is copper. There's also a small amount of cobalt. Nothing unusual so far. Southern Zaire is a well-known copper belt. However, in addition to these, we also detected a trace amount of uranium. The content percentage, though, is too low for nuclear development. It most likely came from Shinkalobwe mine. That's where the uranium in that area comes from. The mine's closed, as all the high-purity uranium ore dried up a long time ago. But you could probably still find it there in small quantities. That said, there are plenty of other uranium mines that are in operation, like in Niger, Namibia, South Africa. Why go to an abandoned mine to scrape up whatever's left and ship it out in mass quantities without refining it? They were transporting that yellow cake too, which would suggest they have the technology to refine uranium. Anyway, that about sums it up. Unfortunately, the analysis of that yellow cake is taking a little longer. I'll let you know when it's done.
Switched vehicles, huh? You don't think he spotted you? That's an NM gunship. A single burst from his machine gun can cut a man in half. Tread carefully, boss.
Yeah.
That's the target. Looks like we found him.
Ek is gereed om terugvoering te gee, majoor.
Gee my net die breedtrekker.
Die CFA kon nog nie vasstel hoe die huursoldate in Wallawamasa gesterf het nie. Al wat hulle kon kry was die plaaslike bevolking wat praat oor bose geeste.
Dis net so hulle is.
Aha. Maar daar is gerugte dat jy die job van die hand gewys het omdat jy geweet het van die siekte. En nou is iemand besig om 'n vergeldingssquad saam te stel.
Van alle dinge. Ek maak soms my hande vuil. Maar ek's 'n engel in vergelyking met sommige van hierdie bliksems. Slawehandel. Reg onder hulle neuse en hulle wil my vervolg.
Maar ek's nie 'n voortrekker nie, maar jy's heeltemal reg. Nie een van ons verdien 'n prys op sy kop nie.
In elk geval, sê die res in 'n geskrewe verslag. Wat meer belangrik is jou volgende taak. ZRS probeer 'n ou man om die lewe bring. Dit het iets te doen met kernwapenhandel. Maar ek het geen idee wie die ou man is nie.
Ek verstaan. Ek sal dit ondersoek. En kernwapens te ondersoek is, wel, dis 'n baie gevaarlike pad om te loop.
Ja, ek weet nie. Kan wees wat hierdie plek nodig het. Bietjie skrik maak tussen die lande. Kan baie bloedvergieting stop.
Jy dink Mobutu en die res sal die sin daarvan kan insien.
Maar miskien het hulle planne om die groot koppe ook gelukkig te hou. Vir nou, vind uit waarmee ZRS besig is.
Ek begryp, meneer.
zone and RTB. The Major spilled his guts all right. His nuclear arms business was just a rumor he was paid to spread around. He doesn't even know who's paying him. All his instructions came through a cutout. Hell, who else would be behind it but Cypher? And this nuclear arms trading is clearly connected to that yellow cake. He thought the same thing, which is why he tried to investigate ZRS himself. He said something else that caught my attention. That ZRS are trying to kill some old man. How did one old man get that kind of attention? That's Mamba plantation. The targets are mixed in with the soldiers in that base. Use the VI to identify them. There's 6 targets. Our contract is to kill them all. And the client is the general they served under. He wants them dead to keep them from talking. That's an enemy gunship. A single burst from its machine gun can cut a man in half. Tread carefully, boss.
Where are your friends? Spit it out.
So you've spotted the target.
Dis waar die opstanders gegaan het, reg? Destiny, aanleiding van die taal.
Ja, maak seer om te sien Afrikaans. Maar ek reken dit sal saam met apartheid verdwyn. Dit gesê, dink ek dit gaan aanhou voortbestaan solank mense dit wil praat.
Ja,
Okay, ek's klaar.
sien jou.
5 targets remaining. Head for the Kungenga mine.
Boss, sorry to keep you waiting. We finally finished analyzing that yellow cake cipher was moving. There was nothing unusual about the composition of the yellow cake itself. Most of it was oxidized uranium, with the rest being impurities, various metals as well as traces of organic matter. What's interesting is the composition of these impurities. When we checked them against the impurities found in the copper ore, it was clear the yellow cake didn't come from Shinkalobwe, meaning they went to the trouble of mining 2 sources of uranium, then transported them together in different states. Another thing, we detected a very thin layer of highly enriched uranium in the middle of the yellow cake. Now that is very interesting. It may not be a lot, but it points to the existence of uranium-enriching technology. After all, yellow cake can't naturally produce highly enriched uranium. If they could mass produce this, they'd be just one step away from a gun barrel-type nuclear bomb. But uranium enrichment requires advanced technology and a large-scale facility. If that kind of place existed in Zaire, the Soviet Union wouldn't sit idly by. And there's another question. Where were they transporting the yellow cake and malachite uranium? The first place that comes to mind is South Africa. The government was supposed to have abandoned nuclear weapons development after caving to international pressure. But rumors persist that it's continued in secret. Plus, CRS were escorting the truck, and they're based out of South Africa. And then South Africa does have an abandoned test site. If Cypher's involved with nuclear development in South Africa. But how would that fit with their weapon to surpass Metal Gear? We need more information.
Yeah.
Reach the mine. 5 targets are being held captive at that outpost. The VI on your iDroid will show you where they are.
Die MPLA het seker heel wat kalmeer sedert daai dag.
Ja, net omdat ons dit so hou. Al daai Amerikaanse wapens het 'n moerse verskil gemaak. Unite is besig om beter toegerus te raak.
Ja, die MPLA behoort op die randjie van oorgee te wees. Maar as hulle dit doen, wat word van ons werk?
Hulle is nog nie klaar nie. Die PLA word ondersteun deur die Sowjetunie. Ek hoor hulle het onlangs groot befondsing gekry as militêre hulp.
So, ons hou net aan om die Amerikaners en Sowjetunie se veldwerk vir hulle te doen.
Ja, al daai kak oor Pax Atomic. Koue oorlog is als 'n pot tos. Ons oorlog is rooi warm hier.
Het jy gesê?
In elk geval, ek die volgende skof.
Verseker. Ons het vir my.
Kunganga Mine. A civil war's been going on in that region for the last 20 years. It's being fought by what are now two ethnic groups, the Buta and the Mbele. Originally, you could barely tell them apart, but the reason for the current armed conflict goes back to World War I. After the war, their land was colonized by a European power, and it decided to give local control to the Buta. That split the two groups into rulers and subjects, laying the foundations for an inevitable civil war. The friction between them remained even after they won independence from Europe. The Buta are holding on to power to this day, and the Mbele rebels continue to fight back. The conflict is funded by locally mined gold, rare metals, diamonds. They've used the money from those to arm themselves, buy oil, and even hire PFs. The Buta administration owns the mining rights to Kunganga Mine. But most of the laborers are Mbele, who they've taken prisoner. The product they've gouged out of their land is bought up by cheap Western corporations. And the civil war is fueled by the profits. That's how it goes. One country's people is split apart by another country. Then the two groups tear up their own land for money in order to fight each other. Now this civil war started by a foreign power is the norm, and it's sucking up all the country's resources. PFs are just the same. They follow the money, taking war with them wherever they go. That goes for us too. It's an endless river of bloody retaliation, and we're standing downstream. Should we make a stand and staunch the flow? Or wade in amongst the corpses and make a bigger splash than the rest? We'll follow your lead, boss.
lives for a fistful of diamonds, huh? And what happens after that? They can't go home. They've only got two options. Heaven or hell.
No, there's another.
Utter heaven. Tape's rolling, boss.
How about it, Cos? Looks like our client just got outbid.
We got the recording. Objective accomplished.
Let's go.
We'll bring him back to Mother Base. Now, for the RV. There's some high ground downriver. I'll have the chopper set down there. Lead the kids to safety. Listen, the kids don't get hurt. No matter what, you bring him back alive. Exit the cave and turn left, then pass through the swamp and follow the river downstream. Doesn't look like he can walk. You still gonna help him?
Matondo.
Boss, if even one of those kids die, the mission's a failure. Be careful. You're those kids' only support out there. You need to give them orders. Lead them to the objective area. But they won't hear you if you're too far away from them. Keep that in mind.
Let's go.
Stop. Come on.
Wait. They won't hear you if you're too far away from them. Now. Stop. Come on. Wait.
Give me back!
They won't hear you if you're too far away from them. Now.
Ze willen Zulu in. De gevangenen wordt een mes. Lijken ze bij ons knap. Oei. Dat is CFDF, begrijp. We gaan naar zoektocht. Zo gauw als mogelijk. Uit.
Looks like they found out the kids escaped. The enemy's gonna tighten security. They'll be coming after you. Watch your back. They won't hear you if you're too far away from them.
Buke pulange!
Wait. chopper will be arriving any minute. Hurry to the RV. Squad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is P Squad. Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by. Extracted. Is that everyone? Gaining altitude. All right. Objective complete. Come on back to base. Just keep the target safe. Departing.
What you thinking, boss?
I'm thinking that he's tougher than he looks. A little training, he'll make himself useful.
Never like kids. Especially ones with guns.
See, kid's a natural.
No. He's no natural. Far from it. You probably noticed on the way in, we've expanded housing. They'll have their own quarters, separate from ours. Won't be counted as staff.
So what, we're running a daycare now?
They'll learn how to read and write. Do basic jobs.
A chance at a real life. Just not from behind a gun.
Being behind a gun's what we do, boss. There's no room for angels in our heaven.
You rescued from that mine. According to the kids, people often disappear from the mine to a place called Nzoya Badiabulu, the Devil's House. On top of that, Saner's involved with the place. The target is Shivani. He was the leader of the boys being forced to work at the mine. He was separated from the others and taken away to Ngumba Industrial Zone. The locals call this place Nzoya Badiabulu, the Devil's House. Boss, find Shivani and extract him safely. An outpost in a sunken road. Monoko Yanyoka, the Snake's Mouth. I get it. Looks like that's the only way to the objective area.
Snake, I wanted to ask you about the man on fire. What do you remember from the hospital? Anything we can use?
Well, he took off the moment the sprinklers started up.
Sprinklers? The fire system?
And when he got sprayed with water from the burst pipe, it slowed him down.
We escaped on horseback, he wouldn't cross the river either.
And then it started to rain. And he disappeared.
Water against fire. Is it that simple? I mean, it makes sense, it's just hard to believe it would work on a guy like that.
Big Boss het hier op die grens op vandag.
Jy's nie ernstig nie. Ek bedoel, ek het gehoor die groot baas is terug in besigheid, maar
Glo my, ek het op goeie gesag. Blykbaar was dit ook Big Boss op die ontploffing by Vina Olifant veroorsaak het.
hoekom sal hy 'n brandstoftank opblaas?
Dis nie voor die hand liggend nie. Hy haat die CIA vir die moord op sy man. En nou is die sakebaan. Die aanvalsbevel op sy baas gegee in die avond.
Wat het dit te doen met die vinder?
Moet ek weet. Dis onmoontlik om hier tred te hou met al die bande tussen die huursoldate en die militante man. As die lakkie aan ons kant is, sê ons sy nou nie teen ons hier.
Dis nie.
Het jy nog hier van tevore gesien nie? Is jy niet?
Ja, ek vervoer rantsoene. Is die rivier oeverwagpos daarvoor?
Ja, maar jy kan nie by die rivier uitkom met 'n voertuig nie.
So is dit waar dat die laaste besteeder daar dood is.
Wat? Nee.
Moet ek bekommerd wees oor al daai verkoelde lyke by die stasie?
Genoeg vra. Beheer heeltyd op die slagveld. Die padkaarts in daai tent. Jy weet dit goed bestudeer.
Ja, meneer.
Picked up an intel file. Looks like a map to the objective area. It's on your iDroid. They even got a guard post there. Security sure is tight. I guess they don't want anyone poking around.
Akka het nuwe instruksies vir jou. Verlig die wag vorentoe. Sy skof is verby en ons het 'n tekort aan mannekrag.
Verstaan. Waarna toe gaan ek?
Die wagpos voor die tonnel. Wanneer jy by die rivier oorwagpos kom, slaan koers die woud in.
Reg.
Hou jou oë oop. Die digte mis verdamp trend nooit. Dan's daar stories oor hulle bose geeste. Duiwels wat fluister en vloek en wie weet wat als. Die laaste ou, hy is by die tonnel in en kyk. Wees dit versigtig. Gaan nou.
Ja, meneer. Supposedly, the valley up ahead is covered in mist almost year-round. The objective area is beyond there. The bridge has collapsed. Looks like you'll have to go down through the valley.
take the path.
Is jy hier om oor te vat? Onthou net, die tunnel daarvoor is buite perke. Moenie daar ingaan nie.
Is daar iets spesiaal aan die ander kant?
Moenie nuuskierig raak nie, want jy soos die ander bestuurder opeindig.
Daar het iets met hom gebeur.
Hy het deur die tunnel gegaan en die fabriek aan die ander kant gesit. Toe sy gewete seker die oorhand geneem, want hy het probeer om die mense te bevry. Op daai tydstip was ek aan diens by die stasie en ek het hul trop gestop. Ek het nie geweet wat om te doen nie. En rapporteer aan bevel. Voor ek geweet het wat aangaan, het 'n span opgedaag en hom net daar en dan geskiet. Toe verbrand hulle die hele vragmotor met almal binne in en alles was weg in 'n oogwink.
Wie was hulle?
Wat maak dit saak? Wees op jou hoede en bly ry verdomde tunnel.
Reg.
That tunnel could come down any minute. Watch your step. You've reached the objective area. Now look for the target. I just hope he's alive.
Mamba Industrial Zone. Nearby residents are terrified of it. They say the devil lives there, and that anyone who sets foot in it never returns. This industrial zone has long been abandoned, but it seems it was sold off a few years back to a certain corporation, Saner. And now the perimeter is tightly guarded by a PF. The reason is unclear. The same goes for why Shabani was taken away. But something is obviously going on there. Those kids from the mine really looked up to Shabani. The client has given us the last of their diamonds in return. Go get Shabani out of there, boss. Whatever Cypher's up to in the region, Shabani might just be our best lead.
Shabani, your boy sent me.
En je mos zeggen het op bijna dood. De gooi bij, Kieban. Burn with the rest of them.
Touchdown past the tunnel. Get over there now. Take cover, boss. This is Pequot. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is Pequot. Have arrived at LZ. We'll stand by. Aren't hitting him. Damn, what is this guy? Disappears, and the man on fire stops. I guess that worked. Great job as always, boss. Wait, you want to extract him? Good idea. I don't know what he really is. Get on with it, boss. He broke the cords. I'd call that good news. Skullface. So he was in Africa after all. Working behind the scenes, even that man on fire at his beck and call. But what the hell was going on at the Devil's house? Earphones embedded in people's throats, tapes playing voices. And those lumps on their chests. They look like the ones on the bodies at the oil field. The man on fire burned everything to the ground. But we were recording audio the whole time you were there. We'll conduct a thorough analysis of it.
We have a new assignment. The contract is to eliminate a high-ranking CFA officer. CFA doesn't just hire UNITA soldiers as mercenaries. They're also supplying UNITA with weapons. It just smacks of Western nations manipulating them against the socialist MPLA. Naturally, the MPLA is not happy with the situation and wants us to put a stop to it. Your standard issue East-West proxy war. Except it appears our target is the man in charge of how many weapons get supplied to UNITA. Apparently his MO is to keep the Civil War going as long as possible, so CFA can keep making a profit. Bad for business if UNITA wins too soon. So they sit back and suck the people dry. Parasites of war. Our intel suggests the target rarely ventures outside of Nova Braga Airport. But rumor has it that a Western arms dealer is headed there soon for an inspection. That could be your chance to eliminate the target from a distance. We also heard that he plans to leave the country following the inspection. This may be our only opportunity to take him out.
Eliminate the high-ranking CFA official in charge of supplying weapons to UNITA. The target stays at Nova Braga Airport. Head to the airport first. Great, you made it. I've sent the information to your map screen. That's the target's predicted location. Check all around the target and plan carefully before moving in. We've just received word that the arms dealer due to inspect Nova Braga Airport is on his way. Once his chopper has arrived, they'll be touring the facilities along with the target. Let him bring the target out into your line of fire.
Fire!
That's an enemy gunship. Don't try to take down a gunship from the front. You won't win in a head-to-head shootout. Try to get behind it and take it down with missiles. The chopper will be arriving any minute. Watch out. There's a chopper landing. It must be carrying the arms dealer. Keep your eyes on him. Our intel suggests the target will leave the country with the arms dealer after the inspection. Take him out before that happens. That must be the arms dealer. His next move will be to meet the target. Looks like the arms dealer's chopper is gonna patrol for the security forces. Be sure you don't get spotted from above. That looks like the target.
Een besoek van die president. Dis 'n voorreg, meneer. Ons skuld al ons sukses in Sentraal-Afrika aan die SANR. Die Mvinde Olieveld-voorval was regtig 'n skande.
Skande is korrek. Nou het 'n klomp huursoldaat-honde van ons te hore gekom. Spooke van 'n dooie era.
Meneer, ek het gehoor dat 'n man by die Olieveld die Big Boss was. Die legendariese huursoldaat. Niemand het my vertel dat ons teen iemand soos hy te staan sou kom nie. Ons kontrak het slegs gespesifiseer dat ons die fasiliteit beskerm teen plaaslike bevolking en militante faksies. Beskerming teen PF's gerig met moderne tegnologie is 'n heel ander affære.
Ek het genoeg hoor. Vereers het ons 'n inspeksie om af te haal. Wys my die plek.
Begryp. Kom ons begin by die suidelike hangar. Stap die kant toe.
He said something about Sainer. It was Sainer behind the Mfinda oil field incident. How do you want to handle him, boss?
Dit is die suidelike hangar. Dalk het al beter dae gesien, maar ons kan dit regmaak in 'n japtrap.
Baie ruimte. Dis goed. Dis die noordelike hanger, so groot soos die een.
Ja, hulle is dieselfde objek. Dis 'n bietjie ver om te loop. Kom ons vat
Beslis.
Net dan.
Boss, about those invalids you saw in that devil's house.
Poor bastards. All strapped down to their beds, with those lumps on their chest.
The medical staff tell me they were probably a type of cyst, but those lumps were like nothing they'd ever seen. In the end, the medical team were at a loss. The fluid you said you got on your prosthesis when you touched one was burned off in the fighting, and the factory burned down too. None of the tests we did once you were back at the base revealed a pathogen that could have caused them. Meaning we don't have a single sample to work with.
Everything went up in flames.
What worries the medical team most is whether it's contagious. Whether there's a chance we could end up like that.
And?
Mother Base's sanitation control has always been strict. After all, war is great at transporting diseases. For the time being at least. There's no sign of contagion or any symptoms that could be related. One more thing. About the surgery that had been performed on the people in the Devil's House.
Yeah?
You said that their throats were cut open, with an acoustic tube pushed inside?
Right. The tubes were hooked up to tape recorders, playing some kind of audio.
Well, we picked up some of that audio through your radio transmissions and recorded it here. The intel team has been working on analyzing the communications log.
What have they found?
There's nothing tying the contents together. We've got a report on 3 deaths in a car accident on the autoroute near Marseille. Protests outside the Libyan embassy in London, a press conference with the former Prime Minister of Sweden, a 4-month-old weather forecast for Balikpapan, and then commercials for appliances, cough syrup, and TV dinners. Assuming they're not all staged, they come off as recordings of your average public broadcasts.
Public broadcasts? Just radio and TV signals?
Yes, and from all over the world. We're looking into whether they're genuine or not, just to be sure.
And there's nothing they have in common?
We're partway through the cryptanalysis, but I don't think it's gonna get us anywhere.
Where were the recordings made?
There's nothing linking them from that angle either. Just like you reported, we've detected virtually every major language there is.
They're nothing if not thorough.
Well, I don't know if we've got them all covered. English isn't one of the ones we picked up.
Really? No English?
I know. You gotta figure they had it somewhere among all the languages in that place. Bear in mind, we didn't hear everything that was played in that room. It's not clear how the growths on their chests fit into it. It could have been treatment for them, or maybe an experiment of some kind.
I'm guessing one person knows.
Hierdie is die noordelike hek.
Dieselfde grootte. Dit sal fyn wees. Dit sit al die ruimte hier waar ons nodig het.
Waarvoor het meneer sulke groot hangers nodig? Is dit nie hoogtyd dat ek weet nie?
Sekerlik, kom nie. Jy en jou manne sal 'n deurslaggewende rol speel vir die volgende fase. Ons gaan die lughawe gebruik as afsetpunt vir die verkoop van nukes.
Verkoop van nukes? Jy's...
Dis wat ons doen. Natuurlik is die verspreiding van kernwapens 'n kopsie. Maar wat as jy 'n atoombom op enige plek kan bou, sonder spesialisfasiliteite, sonder hoëgraad uran? Dis die nuwe sakemodel. Dink net aan die markandeel wat ons kan betrek.
Meneer is nie ernstig nie.
Ek is altyd ernstig. Jou verkoopsroetes gaan onvervangbaar wees. En om te dink, as jy nie 'n nukes het, sal die MPLA ook wil kry. Betaling sal uiteindelik groter mynregte wees en dies meer. Maar sedert die oliebaronne Amerika se spoorwegstelsels verlam het, sal daar altyd 'n mark vir olie wees. Benitez se diamante sal nogal 'n lekker payday wees. 'n Meisie se beste vriend natuurlik, hè. Dis PA vir jou. Elke sakker se skrou met wilfriend is deel van ons bemarkingsplan. En die Afrikaane mors net al geld. Koop wapens om mekaar uit te moer. Die regte wêreld. Kak snaaks, nee my broer.
Vertel dit vir wie ook al my vervang. Ons is oorlogmakers. Ek erken dit. Ons maak 'n lewe met bloedgeld. Sonder oorlog is my manne werkloos. Dis ons enigste uitweg, want alle ander industrie is uit die streek verdryf deur koloniale magte wat munt slaan. Dis omtrent al wat ek kan hanteer.
Toe gat jakkals.
Het jy genoeg gesien? Dra die ondersoek verby is. As jy my die chasse toe vat, soos ons saam gestem het.
So jy wil die kans verspeel, die grootste besigheidskans wat ooit jou kant toe gekom het. Dis fyn met my. Iemand sal wel jou plek oorneem. Maak nie saak wat ek of jy doen nie. Die getuie van die ekonomie sal sy gang, nie terwyl die groot moondhede stry oor al die rykdom.
Die beheertoring is die kant.
They feed off the conflict and turn around and blame the colonial governments? Now that's hypocrisy. enemy chopper is heading over to pick them up. Take out the target before it gets there.
Ek het amper vergeet om te vra. Ek hoor daar's 'n siekte in die omgang by Wale.
Ja, baie vreemde siekte. Maar die streek was nietig gebied. Ons klif was hulle ook aan ons kant. Eintlik was die Gunsmith die ou wat alles gehandel het. Maar hulle almal gesterf. Nou is die gebied so beset met die kom van die vuilgroep wat die Gunsmith by mekaar geskraap het. Hy kwam op hulle nie sien. Kom vra jy.
Net nuuskierig.
Ek sien. Kyk. Nie my bullshit. Hy weet iets. Dit het iets te maak met eksperimente wat hele mense gedoen het by Zoya Badiabulu. Nie waar nie. Selfs ons gaan dit vasstel.
Te veel te weet dat aardige gevolge vir jou gesondheid. Jy waai in elk geval uit af. Gaan lewe luks met die pennies wat jy gespaar het op die wapen. Vergeet van die warmte. Kom ons waai. Helikopter is op pad.
They know something about the experiments going on in that factory. Well, there's no time now. Act now or the target will leave the airport. Boss, the target is going to get away. Hurry up and take him out. Looks like the inspection is over. Take down the target before he departs. Roger that.
Delta 9, wat voor? Kom in, Delta 9. Wat is de situatie? Alle eenheden, staan bij. Alle troepen, dit is CP. Wat is de situatie? Ons is de situatie. Alle eenheden, speciale waarschuwing. Verdedig jouw positie. Uit.
Roger.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is P-Quad. Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by.
That target you extracted. He says he wants to work for us. Having talked to him, he doesn't seem that bad a guy. Apparently the arms dealer's people demanded they prolong the conflict, and he couldn't go against the management. That doesn't excuse everything he did, but his skills will make him a useful asset. Let's put him to good use. I've tossed that arms dealer in the break. The way he tells it, he worked in logistics with the South African Army, but he was headhunted by Sainer. Whoever gave him the orders would only have been a pawn of Skullface anyway. But apparently he hasn't been in contact for some time. He doesn't know much about Sainer, not even what its president looks like. Just another cog in the machine.
We've begun development on that new battle gear weapon that Emmerich was talking about. If you want to see how development's going, come take a look for yourself.
Nice work today, boss.
Welcome back, boss. Another successful mission.
Great to see you safe, boss.
Snake, you stink.
I know you're just coming off this mission, but there are reports of child soldiers taking over Massa Village after the CFA got wiped out there. They've been raiding the surrounding villages, so the people have requested we eliminate them. Check your mission list for the details.
boss. The CFA soldiers deployed to Bwala Yamasa have been annihilated. There are no signs of combat, nor any endemic disease. All the adults just disappeared. Only children were left. All those kids were ever taught was how to fight, and now they're free of the control of adults. They've become a regular bunch of marauders, raiding nearby villages, beating people and destroying property. Our contract comes from the government. We're to locate this militia, these kids, and kill them. But I say we do this the Diamond Dog's way. The government wants these raids to stop. We can see to that, but not by killing kids. We're going to disarm, demobilize, and reintegrate them. A DDR operation. To begin with, extract their commander to Mother Base, the White Mamba, Nyoka Yam Pembe. He's the commander of the kids based out of Bwala Yamasa. As you know, contract forces of Africa were stationed at that village. Anti-government forces hired ZRS to bring kids there from around Africa for training. But at some point, the adults with the PF started dropping like flies. This was right after we arrived in Africa. We don't know the cause. The kids ended up on their own. Must have been like fish out of water. Nothing to eat, no way to get back home. All the adults taught them was how to use a gun. Sure, they could shoot targets, but hunt for food? Not likely.
Your target, the White Mamba, showed up in this village out of the blue and took command of the child soldiers. The surrounding villages have been victims of their raids and brutality ever since. But if you extract their commander, those kids will have no choice but to stand down. Should wrap up the whole situation. They're still kids. You can't kill any one of them, including the commander. If things get rough, neutralize them by knocking them out or by tranquilizing them.
Subject is in.
Fire! Fire!
Pedina ange yandi, yina yabo ke bangaka, nyoke yampembe? Kimomosa ke somomononde? Ya zini bibuti pusakan geve. You lose, Commander.
This is P-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is P-Quad. Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by.
Welcome to outer heaven. We got rules around here. Never draw a weapon on a fellow soldier. You got that? Anyone here can use a knife or a gun. What you're gonna learn is how to use your head.
Let's move.
When you get that under your belt, then you're free to leave.
Boss, 2 engineers are being held in the observation post southwest of Mamba Industrial Zone. Your mission is to rescue them. The targets are civilians, 1 male, 1 female. They were dispatched to the area by an international health organization, but disappeared shortly after. Extract the 2 targets and help them escape the country.
Boss, an enemy squad is on its way to the guard post. Watch yourself. You need to help her.
Ons het 'n situasie B by Mamba Industriële Zone.
Heilig. Was dit die vyand?
Dit het niks met jou uit te waai. Dis reeds onder beheer.
Ek neem aan ons gaan net die 2 gevangenes skuif.
Reg. Elimineer die man. Ons vir die vrou.
Verstaan. Sal manneke gevangene termineer.
What's going on? So, here to save me. I was called here to transport equipment at a medical facility. Examine the patients there, but never did I imagine. What was that? I'd never seen those symptoms before. And that treatment was no treatment at all. It was like we were cultivating the pathogen. I around here, you don't know anything. You've never seen that disease before. Yeah, I escaped by myself. Left her behind. I had myself to think about. And besides, it was too late for her anyway. During an examination, her protective suit seal was broken. Ever so slightly. Yeah, no doubt about it. There's nothing I could do for her. I'm still not sure how the disease is transmitted, but she's probably already just like... Yeah, she must be. Forgive me. It was every man for himself.
Target extracted. Now extract the remaining target.
Wie sy? Dit is nodig om jou stasie te gebruik. Sy moet hier bly totdat ons nuwe bevele ontvang.
As jy haar gaan doodmaak, doen dit buite.
Nee, sy gaan na die kliënt toe.
Hoekom?
Wil haar waarskynlik eers ondervra.
Dis niks persoonlik tog. Om te dink ons het julle tot 'n paar dae gelede beskerm.
Mens weet nooit wat om hier te verwag. Volgende keer kan ons in haar skoene wees.
Lyk asof ons beide wag vir 'n held, tog.
Moenie idees in haar kop sit nie.
Wat is die probleem?
In elk geval, ons vaai.
Roger.
Asseblief. Moenie te doen.
Spit it out. Where are the others? Hands up.
Moenie skiet nie.
Lie down. Where are your friends?
Is jy okay?
You've come to rescue me. I was asked to show that man around here. Dangerous work. I hated every second. I wish I'd said no, but I was the only one on the team who spoke English. So we went to that factory. Bodies. Don't scare me. I'm used to seeing them, but what could that be? Oh, it's Pembrokoi. Dermadromes. What's the cause? Who would do such a thing? Hey, are you researching it as well? Better quit while you can. I've been here 5 years. I've never seen anything like that. That coward ran off without me. Not that I hold it against him, really. He'd suspected I was infected for quite some time. Obsessed over it. That place must have really spooked him. But I always wore full protective gear during the examinations. There's no way I could be infected. So you needn't worry. I'm all right. Please. Get me out of here.
Roger.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by.
Amazing, boss. Getting both prisoners out in that situation. Great work. Now exfiltrate. Boss, we placed the 2 targets in quarantine. They don't show signs of anything, but we'll monitor them just the same. If they had access to the Devil's House, I doubt they were sent there by some health organization. Cypher used them, and would have eliminated them eventually. But we'll protect them here. They've agreed to that. After all, we helped them out of the country as promised. The mission's complete. But boss, they've been behind the curtains at Ngamba. They examined the patients there nearly every day. They told us the patients were being made to listen to voices on tape. But the male target added something interesting. He said he doesn't know what was on the tapes because there was no English version. Of all the voices that were shoved down those people's throats, English was one of them.
The boss is back. Let's go refuel and load up on artillery.
We're good to go, Chief.
What's the matter?
Stop this! Now!
What the fuck, you freak?
Give me a hand! Hold her still!
Dismissed.
Payback for how they treated her? Doesn't explain the others. She had every chance to kill them. Tight security on her cell. This happens a second time. There won't be a third.